Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Thank you for coming by today to watch as I make this fun little back to school card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in some new products from the core catalog from Close to My Heart that just came out, as well as a couple of older products such as this Making the Grade stamp set that I've had in my stash for a few years. Now I am making this for friends and family members who are teachers and some of my colleagues. I have a lot of people on my list, and so I have made a whole bunch of these. I was very excited to play with the new Smarty Pants collection that just came out in that core catalog. And so I want to show you here very quickly a couple of the things that are part of that Smarty Pants collection. This is that sticker sheet that you can get with the paper pack, and then you get two pieces of each of these pieces of paper. I've got them flipped so that you can see the back side of each of them. And then the last piece of paper that's in this collection I've used nearly up except for this tiny little scrap. You can see here there's that grid pattern that we're going to be using on the card, and that's what the back side of that paper looks like. And then this is the fun little zip strip with the crayons that goes to that piece of paper. All right, let's go ahead and talk about making this card. So I am going to be building my pieces on this flimsy old piece of scrap paper, and it's cut to 5.5 by 4 1/4. And the reason I am building it on that is because I have done the stitching on the front of my card, and I don't want that to show through on the inside when I poke those holes. So that's why I'm just going to build it on this little flimsy piece of scrap paper first, and then I can attach all of that to my card front. Now this grid paper is cut to 5.5 inches by 3. This piece of Capri is cut to 1.5 by 5.5, and that is that new color. And I inadvertently painted my fingernails the exact same color, and then that made me laugh. I didn't do that on purpose, but I really love that's that new Capri color. And so that's going to kind of tuck behind that grid paper there. Then we have the light side of the Avocado cardstock, and that is cut to 4 by 3 1/4 inches. And then some white daisy that is going to be 3 3/4 by 3 inches. And then this strip of wild berry, which is the color of the year, is just a 1/4 inch strip, and we're going to cut it down to 5.5. So those are all of our papers. So let's go ahead. I've already edge distressed some of these. The last piece I need to edge distress is that piece of white daisy in the wild berry color. The other papers, I did the avocado with the avocado ink, and then I did the two other pieces with some sapphire ink edge distressing. So now we're going to go ahead and create the background on this white daisy. So I'm going to take my mint shimmer brush to make that swash of color behind my stamped image. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball about the center of my card here, and I'm just going to swipe this shimmer brush back and forth until I've made that pool of color that really kind of helps to ground the sentiment. And I'm going to give that a little bit of time to dry. And I also need to add these splatters. Now, I don't have my wild berry shimmer brush yet, so I'm going to show you a little trick that you can do should you need to improvise. So you can squeeze the pad of ink together and get that ink left on the top lid. Then you can take a clear shimmer brush and just kind of mix it in that color, and then splatter it just like you would with a normal colored shimmer brush. So the important thing here is to make sure that you clean both the lid of your ink pad and your clear shimmer brush before putting them away, so that you don't end up with a lot of sparkle where you don't want there to be sparkle. So there you can see are those fun little splatters. Now you might be saying, Jessica, why would I buy a wild berry shimmer brush when I could just do that? It is kind of wasteful on your clear shimmer brush because you have to squeeze so much of it out to clear it out, but it's something that you could do should you need to improvise. So that's just something that I like to do if I need to, but I would really rather have the shimmer brush itself. Okay, let's move on to our stamping. And so we're going to stamp all of these images on the front in sapphire ink. So I'm going to come in with the paper airplane, and I'm going to put one in the bottom left-hand corner, and then one up in the top right-hand corner. And I'm just kind of alternating the direction of my arrow so that it looks like there's a little bit of movement going across the front of the card. Now, I will say, as a high school teacher, fortunately, I don't really think that that's a thing that kids do so much anymore. Maybe they do in the elementary, but I don't tend to find paper airplanes flying across the room, which is a good thing because I think that would probably drive me crazy. All right, we're going to stamp the word school right in that swash of mint color, and then back to right on top of it. And so, like I said, these images here are coming from an older stamp set, but I really love mixing my old products with some new. All right, let's start building this card front. So we're going to put the Capri piece of cardstock down first on the right hand side of the card. And then we're going to put that grid paper second, because I want it to overlap a little bit of that Capri. You can see here where I want it to overlap. And that's why I cut the Capri just a little bit longer, so it's not butted up to the edge of that grid cardstock. Then I'm going to add a little line of Tombow liquid glue to stick down that little 1/4 inch strip of Wildberry. And I just love that fun pop of color that adds there. And then trim off the excess from the back. And then we're going to put that piece of avocado cardstock down in the center of the card. And I must say that grid paper really did make things easy when lining that up, because it was about 3.5 squares down. And then that was how I knew it was going to be centered from top to bottom. All right, and then what we're going to do is put some foam tape behind our piece of white daisy and pop that up onto the avocado cardstock. And this card is nearly finished. I did make a bunch of these, like I said, for a bunch of friends and family members who are teachers, and I had made some little, back to school teacher gifts for them. And this card was so fast and so easy to assemble that it really was a lot of fun to do. And like I said, I had fun kind of pulling from my stash, as well as using some of those new things from the core catalog Smarty Pants collection. All right, I'm just using some embroidery thread here to stitch a little X into the bottom of that card front, and I go through twice each of those lines of the X, and then I'm going to secure it in the back with a piece of Scotch tape. And then this part of the card really just has to be adhered to the front of my white daisy card base, and I am done. So there you go. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed and that this inspired you to maybe make some cards for the people in your life who are either headed back to school, or if you have some friends and family members who are teachers as well. I can tell you it always warms a teacher's heart to get something like this. They hang on to them for a long, long time. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, happy crafting.